Very good afternoon and welcome to Racing International. We head down to the Eastern Cape today. We're racing at Fairview with 9 races on the poly track. Let's go and have a look at those track. Well, all the draws you can see there, 1,000, 1,200, hit the top turn pretty quick. Even over the 14, certainly helps to have those middle to inside draws. When you swing for home, you've only got a 400-metre straight running, but I must say one thing about it, they certainly can make up a bit of ground when they hook to the outside. All right, let's have a look at the first on the card today, a maiden juvenile plate for the 2-year-olds. It's over the 1,200 metres. And I'm going for a horse here drawn second widest of all. We tipped it last time. Anton Ruskin let us down there. There was good money for it on that day. It went off 5-2 favourite and was a little disappointing. It had the best draw there in barrier 1. Drawn a little bit wider today, but does get Samunga Kamalo aboard. Are there dangers in the race? I think there are a couple. And another horse we tipped last time was number 7 from the Cornet Smith stable. Now, he does hang in running this horse, and he does cost himself some races. Reported not striding out last time, so ignore that run. Previous form not too bad. Chestnut Troop might have a squeak as well from the Dorry Sham stable. Only lightly raced and showed good improvement last time when they brought it back from a spell and put it on the poly track for the first time. Cracks the best draw of all in barrier 1, and it was a certain good comeback run. Carl Zechner jumps aboard. Thrown in the 3 as well with Alan Creef aboard, and Alan Creef trains at Aldo de Meyer, priced up at 4-1. Moderate form, but the rest of them don't look too strong and might be able to sneak into the top 4. Race 2 on the card is a juvenile plate. This one's for the fillies and it's over the 1,200 metres. Number 10, Seattle Burning, short price favourite here, and gee, it improved last time, but both those runs have been on the turf. Now jumps onto the poly for the first time. If it can repeat last time's efforts, I thought was a good run. It did have a decent draw on the turf, drawn 11 out of 11 where you want to be. This one is drawn a bit wide. That's the only thing against it. In barrier 9, as we showed, 1,200 metres, you hit the top turn pretty quick indeed. Another one, Another Night, only had the one run under the belt and comes off a break today of 161 days. Now, it went off favourite on debut at 18-10, was always handy and just faded out, but that was over the 800 metres, looking for more improvement here. Number 6, a Double Happiness, moved up and then had no more, but both those last 2 runs are over the 14, comes back to the 1,200 metres, probably be better suited here. Number 7, we're thrown in again. We liked a bit of it last time to run into money, shows plenty of early speed and from draw 1 should bounce out, go straight to the front and worth including in those trifectas. Race 3 on the card is over the 1,200 metres. A maiden plate for the fillies and the mares. Now, Nell's brought a few horses up, and here's his comments. They're heading off to Durban after this run. He's trying to pick up a bit of change on the way, and it's got some very strong Cape Town form, especially they run 2 starts ago. It was a cracking effort. Went over the 1,200 metres. It was only beaten just over a quarter length. Already been a winner out of that form line. Number 7 will have a few claims here as well at 9-2 with Richard Ferrier aboard. I see they've put the blinkers on today. They're looking for more improvement. Third run back from rest. Alan Creef said certainly run in the top 3. Number 2, Story Fields. Now, to bring it back to the poly, last time they tried it on the turf and it didn't show too much there, but its previous 2 starts wasn't too far away on the poly track. They were good efforts, drawn a little bit wide in barrier 8. Thought number 3, Calico, 13-2, might be one to include here, even though drawn a little bit wider than Story Fields in barrier 9. Certainly put up a decent gallop. Its last 2 runs have both been on the turf, but if I go back to its last run on the 11th of December when it ran on the poly, wasn't a bad effort when only finishing 3.5 behind. Race 4 on the card is over the 1,200 metres. Another maiden plate, and a horse that's certainly drawn nicely here is number 1, Viking Voyage. Got the Kenilworth form, looks hard to beat here. I tell you what, if it just brings that form here and goes okay on the poly, looks very hard to beat and drawn perfectly in barrier 2. All right, number 2, Seattle Light, looks the danger, and the comment from the Grant Paddock stable was he's got to beat the one here. It put up a good gallop on Friday as a form update there, ran second, only beaten a quarter of length, and that was a very good run, that one, but he's drawn a touch wide in barrier 10. Thought number 5, Lego House, might be worth including at 10-1 with JP van der Merwe aboard. Always there and thereabouts, doesn't finish too far behind, normally earns a check and has had 2 runs over the course and distance and finished second on both occasions. Number 6, I was looking around to try and find another one. I think this distance may be a touch short, but should be doing its best work at the end, and they've secured top jockey Richard Free to jump aboard from a reasonable draw in barrier 5. Race 5 on the cards. A nice race, this one. A merit rated 91 handicap over the 1600. Now, it is a nice race, but it's very open indeed. You can see by the betting, it's pretty tight here. But I'm going with number 4, Grapevine, who had 2 decent runs back. Was beaten 2.5 lengths by Zoo Biscuit when having its second run after rest. And is going to be 2 kilos better off today. Gets a decent draw in barrier 3. And I reckon it could be a little bit of each way value here at 4 to 1. A lot of talk about number 1, who's having its second run after rest. Always worries me a bit, but has been running against the strongest company around and certainly hasn't been finishing too far off them. Won a nice race 2 starts ago and then followed up with another cracking run when coming back from a rest. Richard Free rode it on that occasion, and Jacques Stratum said that Richard Free phoned for the ride again. Number 3, Raised in Black, Raymond Danielson at 6 to 1. Now, it went off at any old price last time, but that was in a feature and only finished 2 lengths behind Go Get the Sheriff, and he's the champion down there. So certainly brings him into reckoning at that decent price of 6 to 1. Thought number 9 might be worth including. Is going to be a kilo better off to Grapevine. Sorry, it's going to be a kilo worse off to Grapevine for beating it for half a length. But it's got another good draw in barrier 1, and Samunga Kamalo aboard certainly brings it in with a chance here at 5 to 1. Race 6 on the card is a merit rated 71 handicap. 1600 metres, the journey we're going here. And number 3 is on one I'm liking. I think it's a bit of each way value at 15 to 2. Now, it's been dropping down on the ratings of late. And here's the comment from the Grant Paddock stable. Said working extremely well and definitely a top 3 contender. So in an open looking race, I'm going with a bit of value there around about the 8 to 1 mark. Number 1, this was from the Dorrie Shams stable. Well, it certainly was a very good win last time when you consider it was over the 1900 metres and was drawn 11 out of 14. Was always raced up the handy and went on to win very nicely by half a length. Cracks a decent draw today in barrier 1. Number 2, Captain Quicks, coming off a break of 108 days. Went on to win nicely its last run. That was back on the 19th of February. Isn't drawn the best in barrier 13. That's against it, but secures the services of Samunga Kamalo. I thought number 6 here, we liked a bit of this last time. We thought it'd be, I think we put it in for 3rd or 4th, and that's Kirkby Ninja. I like this one, course and distance suited. Richard Free jumps aboard, priced up at 11 to 2, and always runs into the money. Here we go, race 7 on the card is a merit rated 73 handicap. Over the 1600 metres, and number 8's the one we're liking here. On my wits alone. Samunga Kamalo 4 to 1. He's been well fancied in his last couple of starts. Actually won a nice race going back 2 starts ago. And then I thought followed up with another good effort. It was a pretty decent effort, only finishing 2 3/4 behind. In an open looking race, number 4, Neptune's Jewel, Tara Lang. Well, have a look at that run. Picked up a 3.5 kilo penalty for its last victory, but gee, it went on to win comfortably. There was outside money for it on that day when they backed it in from 20s into 16s. And as I said, won a very comfortable race. Number 11's worth including here, 3rd run back after rest. Eye-catching run last time when not fancied. And I think the guy who called it made a mistake that day. Might have been Alistair Cohn. 33s into 41 last time and was only beaten 2 lengths when running into second. Gets a good draw today in barrier 4. Number 1, he's a Nadu. Do we like it? Well, Snaith Stable doesn't send him out to get a haircut. Well, if you look at his, but this one's drawn out wide. I don't know if you can win from barrier 14 over the 16. Quite a tough draw as they jump onto the turn there. But anyway, I'm going to pop him in there. It's priced up at 6 to 1. Here we go, race 8 on the card. It's a merit rated 91 handicap. 1200 metres where we're travelling. You need a decent draw, and I've gone for one drawn in barrier 9. That's always a bit of a worry, but it is 3rd run back from a rest. Cardinal certainly put up 2 decent gallops in its last 2 outings, and if it has luck and running with Samunga Kamalo aboard, should go pretty close. All right, number 2, with that, well, Alan Creer said about this horse, he's back in form and stick with him. He led from start to finish last time and went on to win comfortably by length and 3/4 and also gets a decent draw in barrier 3. Currently a favourite at 18-10. Number 4, Happy Lion. Well, he's had 3 runs back from rest and he's been running against some pretty smart animals, but he's unfortunately drawn a bit wide in barrier 11, but I think he's worth including at 4-1. Now number 6, Land of Meadows, Richard Free, another one not drawn the best in barrier 12. Hasn't cracked a draw for a while, but he doesn't finish too far behind. Here we go, the lucky last on the card is a merit-rated 74 handicap. Travelling over the 1,200 metres, and number 3, Red Heart. Had a couple of those last night. Nice refreshment, that. Now, this has got a form update here. When having its first start, was on the 3rd of June. Ran fourth, only beaten just over a quarter of length, going off at 33-1. Well, you're not going to get that price today. Currently priced up at 22-10 and drawn where you want to be on the paint in barrier 1. Or can number 1 run into the money at 8-1? Well, last time, if I go back to that run 2 starts ago, he was running at a merit rate at 88, so dropping down in class here to a 74. He was only carrying 52 kilos on that occasion. Now going to carry top weight of 60, but I certainly think's worth including. Number 11, Sudden Surprise. Georgie Urine sends out the 7-year-old here, and certainly an eye-catching run last time against weaker company here. So jumping up in class here, but I think it's worth including with Raymond Danielson at 10-1. Don't leave out the 8 from the Cornet Smith stable. Had a form update here from Friday. Ran 5th, only beaten 3 3/4 and going off at 11-2. We're going to get a much better price today, priced up at 12-1, and gets the claim with the apprentice off the back. Now only carries 53 kilos. Yeah, it looks pretty competitive, and especially those last 3 or 4 races looks very tough indeed. Play as wide as you can afford there. We're going to be putting up all our selections at our Twitter account at Racing and Tips from myself, Rod McCurdy, and all the team. We've got plenty of them here in the studio. We wish you a very successful punting afternoon.